What is the ultimate cost of never being a problem? Most people spend their lives desperate to be noticed, but you spent yours perfecting the art of disappearing. You were the angel child, the one who never cried, never broke a vase, and never asked for a seat at the table because you were too busy making sure everyone else was comfortable. But here's the cold, psychological truth they never told you. Your parents didn't raise a good child. They raised a ghost. And today, that ghost is tired of haunting its own life. If you feel like a background character in your own story, if you feel a strange, heavy guilt every time you take up space, we need to talk. We need to dissect the silent trauma of the invisible child and why being easy to love was actually the most expensive thing you ever paid for. In the complex ecosystem of a family, attention is the primary currency. But in some homes, that currency is bankrupt. Perhaps you grew up in the shadow of a high-needs sibling, someone whose chaos, illness, or rebellion consumed every ounce of your parents' emotional energy. Or maybe your parents were survivors of their own unhealed storms, too fragile to handle even one more demand. In this environment, you performed a radical, subconscious act of self-sacrifice. You realized that your needs were threats to the family's fragile peace. So, you began the long process of emotional amputation. You cut off your anger because it was too loud. You suppressed your joy because it was too bright. You learned to read the room before you even learned to read a book. You became a master of the void. You weren't just quiet, you were calculating exactly how much of yourself you had to kill in order to stay safe. And the most heartbreaking part, they praised you for it. Every time they said, "I never have to worry about you," they were inadvertently telling you that your invisibility was your only value. As the invisible child grows, their invisibility doesn't vanish, it solidifies. It morphs into a personality trait that society often mistakes for strength, hyper-independence. If you were the child who never asked for help, you become the adult who finds the very act of needing someone else repulsive. To you, needing is failing. Why? Because your childhood taught you a dangerous lesson, that help isn't coming, and even if it did, it would come with a price tag of guilt. This is why you struggle in your adult relationships. You are a fortress. You listen to everyone's problems, you become the emotional anchor, but you never let anyone see your own gears grinding. You feel a physical knot in your throat when you try to say the words, "I'm struggling." In your mind, being seen is being a burden, and to be a burden is to risk the only thing that kept you safe as a child, your ability to be no trouble at all. You've built a cage out of your own self-reliance, and the tragedy is, you're the one holding the key, but you're too terrified to use it. This invisibility creates a specific type of professional ghost, the overfunctioner. In your career, you are the person who does the work of 3 people, but asks for the recognition of none. You have been conditioned to believe your value is strictly tied to your utility. If you aren't being useful, you fear you are disposable. This stems from the childhood fear that your place in the family was conditional, that you were only loved because you were the easy one. Now you find yourself stuck in a cycle of burnout that you feel you aren't allowed to complain about. You've become the person everyone relies on because they know you won't push back. You've mastered the art of swallowing your resentment until it turns into a dull, constant ache in your chest. You are competing with a version of yourself that never gets tired, never makes mistakes, and never has needs. It's a machine built for the convenience of others. The most profound damage of being the invisible child isn't what happened to you, it's what didn't happen. You never had the space to experiment with who you actually are. When your entire identity is built around not being a problem, you never learn what you actually desire. What are your favorite things when you aren't trying to please someone else? What is your personality when there is no one around to accommodate? Many invisible children reach their 30s or 40s and hit a wall of profound existential emptiness. You look at your life and realize it's a collection of other people's preferences. Your career, your hobbies, even your mannerisms, they are all adaptations. You are a mirror that has spent so much time reflecting others that you've forgotten you are also a piece of glass. This is the grief of the unlived self. It's the mourning of the person you were supposed to become before the world told you that your silence was your best feature. How do you stop being a ghost? The healing begins with a terrifying realization. Your invisibility is no longer protecting you, it is erasing you. To heal, you must be willing to be inconvenient. You must be willing to disrupt the comfort of others for the sake of your own existence. This starts with microscopic acts of rebellion. It's saying no when you're tired. It's expressing a preference instead of saying, "I don't mind." It's the radical act of admitting that you have a body, a voice, and a set of needs that are non-negotiable. You have to learn to parent the child within you who was never allowed to scream. You have to tell that child, "I see you now. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of this space." You are not a background extra. It is time you stopped whispering your own lines. If you've watched this far, it's probably because you recognize the silence I'm talking about. You know the weight of a scream that was never allowed to leave your throat. But here is my final question for you. If you stopped being easy tomorrow, who would stay? The people who loved the ghost were never really loving you anyway. They were loving the convenience you provided. By becoming visible, you might lose the people who used your silence as a rug, but you will finally find the people who want to hear your voice. Stop being a masterpiece hidden in a basement. Come into the light, even if you tremble while you do it. Because a life lived in the shadows isn't a life. It's just a very long, very quiet apology for existing. And you have nothing to apologize for. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being seen.